For over a decade, Toto Wolff's pursuit of Max Verstappen was the worst-kept secret in the Formula One paddock. Wolff publicly admitted that missing out on signing a teenage Verstappen in 2014 was his greatest professional regret. So, in the summer of 2026, when Verstappen's camp offered profound financial concessions, slashing his salary to €50 million to escape a struggling Red Bull, the F1 world assumed the deal was done. Instead, Toto Wolff decisively slammed the door. It is the most controversial driver rejection in modern motorsport history. Why would Mercedes turn down the most dominant driver of this generation when he was actively offering a discount? Today, we are exposing the highly classified details behind the scenes, the £30 million contract clause that legally bound Mercedes' hands, the rigid financial ultimatums that Toto Wolff rejected, and the internal corporate boards that vetoed the four-time world champion. This is the story on why Toto Wolff couldn't sign Max Verstappen. Welcome to Front Lockout. Chapter 1. The £30 million clause. The first and most controversial reason Toto Wolff could not sign Verstappen has nothing to do with Verstappen himself. It has to do with the contractual security of George Russell. During the driver market panic of 2025, Russell negotiated a clever 1+1 contract extension. It guaranteed his seat for 2026, but included an automatic 2027 extension option that would trigger if he met specific performance targets. By holding a strong second place in the Drivers' Championship with 154 points, Russell officially triggered that automatic extension after the Spanish Grand Prix. According to financial reports, Russell's newly triggered 2027 extension is worth a massive £30 million annually. This left Mercedes in a legal trap. To make room for Verstappen, Toto Wolff would have to execute a hostile, highly public buyout of Russell's contract. Not only would this cost Mercedes tens of millions of dollars in severance fees, but it would also signal a profound act of corporate disloyalty to a driver who had anchored the team through their entire regulatory rebuild. Wolff calculated that the financial and political fallout was simply too high a price to pay. Chapter 2. The 3-year ultimatum. The second major obstacle was a fundamental clash of corporate cultures. Verstappen's camp was not offering a simple partnership. They were demanding absolute, long-term security. According to the Italian Motorsport, while Verstappen was willing to slash his base salary to €50 million, his manager, Raymond Vermeulen, issued a strict ultimatum. Mercedes must guarantee a rigid 3-year contract. Verstappen wanted a safe, guaranteed harbour to ride out the technical uncertainty of the 2026 regulations. But this demand directly violated Mercedes' modern operational philosophy. Under Toto Wolff, Brackley has heavily favoured short-term, flexible driver agreements that allow the team to maintain maximum leverage. Committing to a rigid, multi-year deal with an expensive veteran contradicts this strategy, especially when the team is already dominating the grid. According to former F1 driver Ralf Schumacher, Wolff responded to this ultimatum by intentionally low-balling Verstappen during preliminary discussions, making a counteroffer that was so bad financially that it was not an option anyway. Wolff used financial metrics to make the contract structurally impossible for Verstappen to accept. Chapter 3. The boardroom veto. But couldn't Mercedes just request a larger budget from their parent company to fund both drivers? A common theory among casual fans is that the F1 cost cap blocked the deal. But according to the FIA regulations, driver salaries are completely exempt from the $215 million spending limit. Mercedes could theoretically afford to pay Verstappen whatever they wanted. The barrier was not the FIA, it was internal corporate governance at Mercedes. While insiders suggested that Wolff could have easily gone to the board to fund a Verstappen super team to generate massive global brand value, the corporate board in Stuttgart ultimately looked at the return on investment. George Russell is tens of millions of pounds cheaper than Verstappen, and he already delivers consistent podiums. Spending upwards of $200 million on a 3-year contract buyout and salary for a driver they do not strictly need to win the Constructors' Championship was viewed by the board as an unjustifiable corporate vanity project. Corporate pragmatism triumphed over paddock hype. Chapter 4. Kimi Antonelli. Beyond the legal and financial barriers, Toto Wolff had to protect his garage from a psychological perspective. He already lived through the toxic, late-race collisions of the Hamilton-Rosberg Silver War from 2014 to 2016. And let's be real here, who wants to deal with his father, Jos Verstappen. An already winning team would immediately be injected with volatility. Verstappen operates as an absolute apex predator. He demands total priority regarding team resources and strategy. But Mercedes has already committed their future to their homegrown prodigy, Kimi Antonelli. Wolff has openly admitted that missing out on signing Verstappen in 2014 was his biggest regret, and he explicitly swore not to repeat that mistake with Antonelli. By clearing the runway for Antonelli, who currently leads the World Championship with 179 points, and keeping the cooperative George Russell, Mercedes maintains perfect internal harmony. Pairing Verstappen with Antonelli would have recreated the toxic, self-destructive 2007 McLaren civil war between Fernando Alonso and a rookie Lewis Hamilton. Chapter 5. The Strategic Fallout. Toto Wolff's rejection has left Max Verstappen mathematically and politically stranded. With Red Bull's performance in a steep decline and their star race engineer Giampiero officially signed to defect to McLaren as chief racing officer, Verstappen's options are rapidly disappearing. To continue his pursuit of world titles, he is now heavily reliant on finding a lifeboat at Woking. So, what do you think? Did Toto Wolff make a brilliant, highly disciplined decision to protect Kimi Antonelli and George Russell? Or is he making a historic blunder by rejecting a four-time world champion when he was actively offering a discount? Will the decision to prioritise corporate stability over raw talent backfire if Verstappen joins McLaren and builds an unstoppable super team with Lando Norris and Giampiero Lambiase? And was George Russell's Spain extension the ultimate masterstroke that saved his Mercedes career? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.